the running game. So this is something we've talked about the running game last week. We were giving CEH our love, and so we're going to continue on this one. So the running game didn't look good on Sunday, and we're about to play the Buccaneers defensive front, which have allowed the fifth fewest rush yards, but it's not worse than we played last week because the Colts, and I think last week's game helped a lot because we didn't run the ball at all against them. But the Colts have allowed the third fewest rush yards in the season, so it's a little better going against the Bucs. But the Buccaneers front, that they didn't let Aaron Jones or AJ Dillon do anything last week. So the defense has been one of the bright spots for the Buccaneers so far this season. So JD, based on what you've seen from the Buccaneers defense and from what we've been doing this season, how do you think we should attack the Buccaneers on the ground this weekend?
How should we attack them on the ground? I'll tell you what, man, you just got to run right at these guys. Okay. We know they got a pretty capable guys on the outside causing pressure on the quarterback. So what you do to soften that defense up, you got to be effective running the football. And so I don't know what that's gonna mean. But I do like maybe a couple more tight ends in it. I think the guys up front won't have to come off the football. I think they looked over the film and realized it wasn't our best outing, right? Last week, that sucker Buckner, man, is a grown man. Last week, grown man. He was giving everybody the business on that line. I'm just gonna be honest. So he was. So hopefully this week when they come back, Trey and those guys on the interior is going to do a much better job. Wiley, OBJ, all those guys going to do a much better job. And so what they're going to have to do, they're going to challenge themselves this week. That's why I think it starts there, just challenging themselves, looking in the mirror about who do you want to be as offensive line? What's your identity? Okay. Are we going to come off and hit guys in the mouth? Is that who we want to be? Okay. Because everybody's been singing our praises about being one of the best offensive lines in football. And I believe that we are. Okay. But we got to show up every single week and you got to come in with that swagger, knowing that's who you are. And so when you attack, Tampa Bay, they got fast guys. Okay. You're not going to beat guys lateral with that type of speed. You got to play smash mouth football, put your cleats in the ground and come off the ball and absolutely explode, hitting guys in the mouth. Double teams on B&V and all of guys, double teams. The mesh that you have to have with double teams, it's vital. It's imperative that everything is in order. Everybody's got to be on the same page in lockstep with each other. And so we got some of the best up front, and they got to show it. We do that and get up to the second level, to those linebackers, man, let CHE, McKinnon, Pacheco, hey, if there's a chance, the Rojo get in, I'm saying let him run the football. He knows these guys. He knows these jokers. And so he's a guy that will be thirsty. We've been talking about that on Twitter. We've been sitting there going back and forth with a few people, but I think this is the week. This is the time. I think he can give you a spark that you need. He's a hard runner. He's somebody that runs downhill. This week is a week for that guy to come in and play. I mean, that's where I'm at. That's my opinion of it. So I think he could give a much needed spark. He's a change of pace back that we need, who's a hard runner. And I think that's one of the things that's been ailing us is like our short yardage. I mean, thank God for Burton. That sucker right there, man. Hey, Burton. Hey, hats off to you, brother. Seriously. Hey, you 100% on me. Look. Matter of fact, anytime we run short yardage, we on the goal line. I'll let you run the ball. Give it to him. Sucker gonna score. So, but I think it's probably what you have to do. You got to stop the speed, run the speed, you run straight at speed. That's what you do with speed. Run straight at speed. You can't go, east and west. You got to run north and south. So you come out the football, hit them in the mouth. I think we'll be successful running against that defense.
This is something we talked about in the offseason was that you need to let a running back kind of get in rhythm. And it seems like this offense, they're going and they double down on it today. I saw a report that they said they're going to stick to this committee that we have. And I think it's just kind of hard for anybody to kind of get in a rhythm because we get down in the red zone and it's literally CEH is not going to be seen. I mean, in the Cardinals game, he was, But since then, it's literally all McKinnon. McKinnon comes in from the 20 yards, and he's the guy from that point on. Are you seeing any kind of like, I guess, a negative to having the committee and being so kind of like sticking to that? Because like I just feel like CH isn't really getting to a rhythm. We talked about getting him the ball more, and I feel like last week he had 7 carries, 0 yards, but I mean he had some negative yards, negative carries, but I think he can't get. No one can really get into a rhythm and kind of be the guy because it's too much. 5 carries here, 4 carries here, 3 carries here, and just like a guy for different situations. And I get there's usually a third down back. Most teams have a guy for the third down back and designated for that. But like, let CH eat. I think maybe I'm alone on that, but like, no running back can get into a rhythm if he's getting 6 to 8 touches and that's it. I mean, how is anybody going to kind of be a guy if that's all they're getting?
Yeah, see, I think that's that's the hard part because that's our identity. That's with guys coming in. That's what you knew was going to be. I think CEH the first couple of games, he kind of, like I said, he warned it to be the running back one. Mm-hmm. This game, he just wasn't able to get it going, and so a lot of that wasn't necessarily on him. Yeah, let's just be honest, it wasn't necessarily on him. And I think you got to do a little bit more of the leads with him, somebody leading up with him. And sometimes we do the RPOs as the single back, him trying to make, 2 or 3 different yards. When you're going against a very capable run defense, that's going to be tough. That's going to be really tough. And so the offensive line didn't really help him out either. But when a guy if he's not feeling it, right? That's why they was like, hey, just bring McKinnon in. Maybe give him a shot. Okay. And so I think it's one of those things. If the guy is doing really well, you let him eat. Okay. Hey, this week, it ain't about CEH. It's about McKinnon. Maybe the next week, it's about one of these other guys. And so I think it's philosophy all the way around in offense, right? Same thing with the receivers. Well, this week is Juju. Next week is MVS. Next week is Sky Moore. And so I don't think they're sitting there saying we're going to have just a featured guy, okay? What we're featuring is the offense being successful. Mm-hmm. And so if they're an efficient offense, regardless of who we have in, that's what we're going to do. And so we said that before, it's not any more of those bell cows coming in and running the ball, 25, 30 times a game. It's just not that. Yeah. If he works better in the game plan about what we can do against the defense and be effective, that's the guy we're going to go with a hot hand. But I completely agree with you. I thought CH warranted more carries. Defense, Buckner and those guys, hey, they had a different thing. They had a different agenda on their hands. So they did a good job, man, stopping it.
Yeah, and I will say, and I will commend it. We talked about getting CH involved in the passing game more. They've done a great job with that. We mentioned he had 7 carries, 0 yards. But he also had about 5 catches for 39 yards on Sunday. Right. That's amazing. You can't ask for more than that. He's had 3 catches, 4 catches, 5 catches in all 3 games so far. So, he's getting utilized in the passing game, which is what his strong suit coming out of college was. And I'm glad we're finally using that in this season. So
absolutely. 100%. And look, a guy like that, man, you get the ball in his hands some way, somehow, and he's going to make something happen, right? Didn't happen in the run game, but like you said, in the passing game, if he's able to be, contribute, to what we're doing, shoot, by all means, let's go there.
Yeah, and I feel like, as we go to the next topic, I feel like we're going to be utilizing him a little more in the passing game this coming weekend with the kind of pressure Mahomes will be getting from the edge guys in Tampa. Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out the best clips from Chief Concerns. And if you prefer to listen to the show, subscribe and follow us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and anywhere else you get podcasts.